Hey. Thanks for joining me back again to finish up the last bit of testimony before we're all caught up for Monday's trial. Well, True Psych Ward, Dr. B, my other half, come on tonight. We're going to be talking hey, Anaphylaxis, Diane Downs' parole hearing. It's a doozy. So you should come up. It's the only audio, so I don't know how we're going to keep I'm going to tell you guys right now. This is probably not good to tell you because then you might not come, but I owe you honesty. So after I ended my live this morning, I did the straightening up of the house, had a little lunch, took a little nap, got up, and I watched the documentary about this case, The Price of Honor. And in doing that, I could have multitasked. I could have taken my laptop over and I could have, downloaded the audio and put like pictures, like a slideshow with it. But then I forgot that I was supposed to be doing that until just this moment. So hopefully this won't go too long and I'll have time to do that in between. So you guys will have something exciting to look at. All right. So let me say hi to people. Hi, Heather, whatever. Hi, Rexana. Kezchick. Welcome. Am I missing anybody? Anaphylaxis. Hiya. Hey. If I missed you, I apologize. StreamYard's loading the chat. Very weird. Okay. So let's get into it. Now, while we wait for me to orient myself, how many of you guys watched The Price of Honor in between this morning and now? And I ask because I learned some things and I understand a little bit better now why the um, defense team is going after the boyfriends the way that they are. So did you watch it, Chick? You guys got to watch it. If you didn't watch it, I don't want to talk about it because I feel like that's like rude. Like, I don't want to spoil it for you. I don't know what to do. This is a conundrum. What should I do? Do you want me to spoil it or no? Just tell me. Hey, curious cat. Okie doke. Well, you say taco about it? Okay. So here's the deal. I'm going to taco about it. If you don't want to hear it, I'm probably going to spend about 30 seconds, or just turn your closed captions on. And, okay, I'm telling you, forget it. But if you're listening to the replay, turn your closed captions on and, skip through it. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So I was a little bit confused because they kept interviewing this kid, Joseph Moreno. Very confusing because the two witnesses that are testifying are, we just watched them. Oh, Jeebus. The boyfriends, which is not, Yasmin's boyfriend was not, I think it's Edgar. Edgar, that's what it is. Okay. And I can't remember his last name right off the top of my head. And I could not figure out why. And then I thought, well, maybe they're just going to be leading up. But then I saw December 2007. So I knew that this was right before the incident, right? The crime. Well, I keep watching it. I'm listening. And evidently, Edgar, according to this documentary, was a substitute for Joseph. That Amina's heart really was with Joseph Moreno, but she had been caught with him before. Yaser caught her writing love letters, and stuff like that, and he was on to her, and found out that they had met through the Taekwondo place where they both practiced. So that is what prompted Yaser to move the family from Bedford to Louisville. I mean, abruptly. And Joseph Moreno's mother kept in contact with Amina through email. And she started getting emails that were alarming, that said that Yaser wanted to take the girls to Egypt and have arranged marriages. And one of them, this happened when Amina was 16, and he took her to Egypt and was trying to, introduce her to a 47-year-old man. And she said, no, I will not be, you'll not be telling me who I marry. And it's especially won't be a 47-year-old man. Right. So they're keeping Joseph's mother, and Ruth is her name, and Amina are keeping contact. And there was another trip to Egypt, and Amina was able to get to like an internet cafe very quickly. And she sent off an email to Ruth basically saying that she was worried because Yaser had taken their passports. So they wouldn't be able to, she was worried that they were going to stay, that he wasn't going to bring them back to Egypt. And so remember how we were talking about the SA allegations and the mother. Well, when you watch that documentary, that is explored more in depth. And Joseph and Amina did tell Joseph about the allegations. And she not only, and their grandmother would be Patricia's mother. is featured prominently in this documentary. And she verifies essentially what Connie said on the stand, which is that one of the girls, Sarah, I believe it was, wrote a letter to Connie and said that their mother made the girls recant their stories. And she backs it up. So it's very tangled, you guys. And I don't think that they're going to be able to get into all of this. But the bottom line is this. So shortly before the girls ran away with Patricia, Edgar, Eric, okay, at this point, Joseph and Amina apparently were back in contact. And she told Joseph that they were running away. And Joseph told his mother. And his mom's like, well, do we need to go get them? Do they have a safe place? Yada, yada, yada. And evidently, Joseph's mother, once she found out that Patricia was involved in the running away, that she was going to be going with the girls, she became very, very concerned because she just fundamentally didn't trust Patricia, quite frankly. She didn't think that Patricia protected her girls on any level at any time from anything. And that's how she feels. So apparently the ultimate plan was for them to run away and for Amina to reunite with Joseph Moreno. And Edgar was essentially a stand-in for Joseph because Ruth and Amina were afraid, and Joseph too, to an extent, were afraid that Joseph would be the first person that Yaser came after looking for Amina. So she spent the last 6 months of her life erasing Joseph from her life. That's when she started seeing, quote unquote, this guy Edgar. That's what the documentary alleges. So now I am because I kind of understand a little bit why that there is so much contention between the defense and Patricia, even more now because now I've refreshed, and the boyfriends and Connie, because I'm going to tell you that watching this documentary and also watching Connie's testimony, she doesn't get she there some things have changed over time, which, to be fair, it's been 14 years. So I'm going to cut her some slack. But the problem is that it's like Connie and her mother, who's also Patricia, right? And then Tizzy on it's versus Tizzy. Connie and mom Patricia pretty much back up each other's stories, but they do not back up Tizzy. In fact, quite frequently, it's in direct conflict. They're saying the opposite things as Tizzy is, or Tessie, or however you say it, however they're pronouncing it. I guess they felt like, I thought that was weird too, Curious Cat, and I guess they felt like Joseph or Edgar could take it. I don't know. I didn't understand that part, but now we're going to watch Edgar's testimony. Okay. And let's see how that goes. All right. Here we go. Oh, wait, let me turn the subtitles on and all that. And also let me speed it up just a touch. Okay. Are we ready? Hey, Jen, you got to add it to the stream, lady. No, I don't think so. I think well, I don't know. Let's find out. I don't know why that was. All right. Well, we're about to find out. Here we go. While we're at it and waiting, Can everybody give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you want, please?
First and last name for the record, spelling your first and last name for the court report.
My name is Edgar Ruiz, spelled E is an Echo, E is an David, E is in George, A is an Adam, R is in Romeo, Ruiz, R-U-I-Z.
Man, I thought he was going to do the Echo Bravo Loco thing.
Do you know why you're here testifying today?
Yes.
Okay. So we'll go ahead and start. We'll tell the jury a little bit about how did you first come to meet Amina Saeed?
My parents used to have a home nearby, that we used to work at, and me and Sarah were 6 years there.
Judge, I think you might need to change the name.
Yes, I agree. Ms. Holton, you can take my clear mask.
Yes.
Bless it, can't nobody work these masks.
My parents used to live nearby the Kroger where I used to work at, and both Sarah and Amina worked issues there, and their mom was a manager.
So your parents lived nearby Kroger's,
Correct.
and Amina and Sarah were cashiers?
Correct.
Did you work at Kroger's?
No.
Okay, so how did you meet them?
My mom would send me to the grocery store to buy groceries, and one time I was checking out, and I was paying, and Amina helped me check out at the grocery store.
Okay, did you tell her you liked her then?
No, I went back home and, got groceries needed, and then ended up coming back for more groceries, and that's when I thought she was very pretty, and I asked her if I could have her phone number.
In fact, you asked your mom to see if she had more groceries to get.
Correct.
You wanted to talk to Amina.
Correct.
Okay. So you go back to the grocery store and you meet Amina, and when do you start dating?
Within probably a couple months, she told me she was not allowed to date American boys, so she didn't have a good relationship at home, so that her dad wouldn't allow her to date, so she couldn't date me.
Now, when is this? When did you meet Amina this year?
Probably around July 2007.
July of 2007. You guys start dating when?
Probably within a month or two.
So maybe August?
Correct.
August of 2007, you began dating?
Yes.
Okay. And while you're dating, she's telling you this needs to be in secret?
Yes.
Okay. And she can't date?
Correct.
So what did you guys do? Were you able to take her for ice cream? Were you able to take her to the movies? How would you see Amina?
Well, she said that she really remember saying her father was crazy, was obsessed about what she did and had to do, that he would pick the guy she would marry, what kind of car she would drive, how much money she had in the bank, where she would go, because he wanted to control her lifestyle.
So did that mean that you could see her? Could you go to her house?
No, we never went to the movies, we never did anything that normal dating relationships.
So you could never take her on a proper date?
Not at all. We could not be seen together, we could not talk on the phone, we could not text. So the only time I would see her is when she signed up for a tennis class in school.
How would you see her then?
Well, she signed up for a tennis class. Her and Sarah were really smart and really love sports, and they were really good with sports. And at some point, she decided to drop the class that she preferred if we start dating. So when she instead of going to that very good class, we always spend time together.
So she signed up for a tennis class, but that was really a cover-up because that was a way for her to see you and all spend time.
Well, initially she had signed up for it because she wanted to be in sports and keep her busy because she expressed that her house, she felt like a dog. Her father constantly put his son to spy on her, so she felt that she could spend time in doing sports, it would give her some freedom.
Okay, so she initially signed up because she wanted to do tennis.
Correct.
And then she dropped it, and that's how you guys are able to spend time together.
Yes.
How long would the class be?
About an hour, 25 minutes, whatever what period it is,
Every day?
Monday to Friday.
At this time, are you a student at Louisville High School, excuse me?
No, it was March.
You're in college. Where are you attending college at this time?
North Central Texas College in over by the Denton area.
Oh, I know where that is.
What were you majoring in?
Just trying to get an associate's degree and have a big career.
Do you know if Amina had dreams, future goals, career dreams?
Absolutely. She was very smart girl. She was top 10% in her class. She had multiple scholarships. She was willing to drop all of them to pursue this relationship. But she really wanted to be a doctor. She had multiple careers that she wanted to be in, but she knew that her dad would follow her wherever she went.
This is non-responsive to the question, that's what's gonna be objective.
The same.
Okay, so, Bright Young Lady.
Correct.
Now, were you able to have a relationship with Sarah? Did you get to meet her sister?
From distance, knew who she was and, say hi to her. That's about it.
How would you describe Amina's personality?
Very kind, loving, sweet, grandfather.
What about Sarah?
You can't read the captions either?
She was very smart as well.
I'm
Very
sorry.
friendly. I know she was in the top 10% of her class as well.
She was also in the top 10% of her class?
Mhm.
Yeah, nonstop, Mom. You got to watch the documentary,
Now,
babe.
At some point, you leave, we're gonna get into that, with Sarah, Amina, Eric, and Patricia, and travel to Kansas, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Had you met Patricia before you all agreed to leave?
Yes.
Okay, when?
Around August, me introduced to her mom. I covered.
Hang on a second.
So Patricia worked at Kroger as well?
Correct.
So the closed captions are on. I Okay, let me see if that helps better. I made it full screen. I don't I can't make the captions pick up on the words. Maybe I'll turn it up a little bit, see if that helps.
Did Patricia know that you and Amina were in a relationship?
Yes.
Did Yaser Saeed, the defendant, know that you and Amina were in a relationship?
No.
And that was planned, right?
Oh, okay.
Correct. Very safety. Before
Okay, so let me tell you guys a little secret about YouTube. All right. Are you guys, if you're watching YouTube on your phone, YouTube, it's your settings. Touch your screen where he's testifying, right? You'll see a little toggle or cog or whatever that is, and click that. And where you see quality, click quality, go to advanced, and turn up and set the quality higher. Everybody's phone, everybody's app is set a little bit different depending, on what kind of phone you have, yada, yada, yada. You have to fix that on your end. Okay. All right. Well, here we go.
For whose safety?
Amina's safety.
Amina's?
Mhm.
You have to say yes or no. Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Had you
Even
ever
even
met
on a
the
tablet,
defendant
sometimes you
before?
got to, if
No.
things are blurry, try checking your settings and adjusting the
Now,
quality
going to the time
of the
when
picture
you
first.
planned to leave, whose decision was it to leave?
Amina.
Was she planning to have everybody go with her?
No.
What was the original plan?
The original was planned for her to leave by herself.
What did you tell her about that plan?
That she should consider her sister to go with her. Because if something happened to her sister, if she left it behind, she probably regret it in the future.
Did you tell her to consider anyone else to join her?
I did. I took to consider their mom. And I was taught and raised that mothers give everything for the children. My mom has done that for me, and
Objection non-responsive.
Overruled.
That was absolutely
Yeah.
responsive.
so I recommend her to bring her mom because our relationship didn't work out. I know her mom would do everything to protect her.
So Mina wanted to be by herself and you said, bring your mom, bring your sister.
Correct.
How did you get involved?
Amina told me about the plan to leave. I was concerned about her safety and told my dad or my parents if they'll help me out and with money or car run away with them.
Were your parents on board with this decision?
No.
Ultimately, did they come around and help you out?
Yes,
How did they help you out? What did they give you?
my dad, in a rubber truck,
What kind of truck was it?
Ford F-150,
Ford F-150?
2004,
Remember color?
gray.
Did you get any money from them?
From my parents?
Yes. No money?
No.
Did you have money saved up?
No.
So you traveled with no money?
Well, Patricia or Nina had taken some money from Yaser's safe stash at the house.
So that Amina or Patricia had taken money from the defendant's stash house until you had cash?
Correct.
How much?
Anywhere from $4,000 to $5,000.
So now that you've convinced Amina to take her sister and her mother, it's now you and another young man by the name of Eric Panamino, is that right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, and who was Eric?
Eric was Sarah's boyfriend.
Did you know Eric previously, prior to this time?
No.
How would you describe Eric's personality?
Very humble, very caring, in love with Sarah, very nice guy. Very
That's
good person.
in love with Sarah, not in level
So
terror.
you two kind of meet for the first time during this plan.
Correct.
And what is exactly the plan? The four of you are gonna leave, the five of you are gonna leave and go where?
The plan was to go to Oklahoma. I had some friends and family there that could help us find a house under an assumed name and try to create a new life in Oklahoma.
Are you gonna drop out of college and pursue this new life?
Yes.
And that was the plan.
That was the plan.
So tell us where you guys went first. You left in the F-150. Who was driving?
I was right.
What did Patricia do with her car?
She lived at my parents' garage.
Was that part of the plan?
Yes.
She left down my pants
Yes,
garage.
yes,
Wow.
yes.
Closed
So that nobody could
captioning.
use your car, it was locked in your parents' garage.
Correct.
And your parents allowed that?
Yes.
You were driving, you, Eric, Sarah, Amina, and Patricia. Where do you go first?
We head up north. We were heading to Tulsa, Oklahoma, but we got diverted to Kansas.
Why did you go to Kansas?
Her Aunt Jill lives over there. Or lived over there at the time.
Who's Aunt Jill?
Patricia's sister.
Did y'all stay overnight in Kansas?
I can't remember.
Did you ultimately leave Kansas?
Yes, we did.
Do you know why?
Yes, in a small town, no schools, no job opportunities, no careers. It's a very small town. We didn't like that.
Interesting.
Everybody didn't like it?
Yes.
So you leave Kansas and where do you go?
Back to the original plan. She go to Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Hold on a minute. I'm going to push pause.
Correct.
Do y'all rent an apartment?
It's interesting that this is his testimony, and I'm not commenting whether I believe him. Although nobody is saying that he's a big old liar like they are saying about Patricia, but Patricia said they left Kansas because the home that was going to be provided to them was not livable. It wasn't safe. And Eric said that the reason they left Kansas is because they didn't want any ties to Yaser in any way, and if it came from Patricia's family, it's still a tie to Yaser.
Apartment?
Yes, we did.
Who leases the apartment?
I did.
Do you know how long you lease the apartment for?
The term of the contract?
Yes.
I do not remember. I have a copy of the contract.
You took a photo of the contract with your phone, is that right?
I did.
Your Honor, may I approach witness? Mr. Ruiz, I'm handing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit number 8. Are you familiar with this?
Yes.
And what is it without going to the contents?
It's the contract for the party. Tulsa, Oklahoma.
And that is the contract that you signed?
Correct.
And that's the photo that you took?
Yes.
And you provided this photo?
Correct.
Your Honor, the state, at this time, the state offers State's Exhibit 8.
Thank you. May I review it, Judge? No objections. I just like to review it.
All right, this is exhibit number 8 is admitted for all purposes.
She looks so cute with her little baby belly.
So, Mr. Ruiz, remind me, how long was the lease term for?
I don't remember.
Were you expecting to stay out there in Oklahoma?
Yes.
For how long?
Typically, these are a year, so at least a year.
Were you planning to get jobs?
Yes,
Did you look for a job?
yes,
Was everybody gonna work?
yes. That was the plan. Everybody would work and contribute to rent and bills.
Do you remember if it was 1-bedroom apartment or 2-bedroom apartment?
I do not remember.
Okay. So how long did you all stay in Tulsa at that apartment?
Probably like 3 or 4 days.
Why so short of a time?
Damn, did they have to pay a reletting
Stay,
fee?
get jobs, contribute?
I had to come back to Dallas.
So you personally had to come back.
Correct.
Did you leave Patricia, Eric, Sarah, and Amina in Tulsa?
Yes.
Okay. Why did you have to come back?
A family event,
What kind of family event?
New Year's Eve event party.
So like a family party?
Mm-hmm. Yes,
How did you get home if you had your truck there and that was the only mode of transportation?
my parents went to me.
So your parents drove from your house to Tulsa to pick you up
My parents drove from their house to Tulsa.
in Louisville?
In Lisbon.
That's not
And
that
they
far of
put
a
you in
drive,
their
y'all.
car,
Yes.
And they allowed you to leave your father's F-150 with Patricia, Eric, Sarah, and me.
Yes.
Why did they do that?
Because we wanted to help them that if in case they needed to move just move the transportation, they had a car available.
So you leave with your parents
Yes.
and you go home. Do you know what date that is?
It was that Saturday, so I want to say it was like December 30th or 29th. That Saturday of December 2007.
And just for the record, just to make sure we establish when you left, what day did you leave to travel to Tulsa? When you went to Kansas first, then got the apartment? What day did y'all leave?
Can you repeat the question?
What day did you leave Louisville?
On the 24th.
You think it was 24th?
Yes.
Okay. And you believe on the 29th or 30th, you returned home?
Yes, that Saturday.
I'm looking up December 2007.
Did you ask for?
I want to see what these dates are.
I did.
Why?
I want her to go to the family celebration with me.
Will you restate that again?
I wanted her to go to my family celebration with me.
Were you allowed to take Amina?
No.
Why not?
We were concerned for her safety.
Did Patricia convince you to have her stay?
I'm sorry?
Did Patricia convince you to have her stay to make sure she's safe?
Yes.
At some point, did things change?
Yes,
Did they decide to come home?
correct.
Tell the jury about that.
I came home that Saturday, and then the next morning, I get a text from Mina saying that they're coming back, everybody's coming back, that everything's okay, that they will come back. I found it very strange, why would they be coming back? When Patricia had not allowed me to come the night before with me, because of concerns of safety for her. So they ended up all getting in the car on that Sunday and coming back to Dallas.
So
Okay,
he would
the
have,
very next day,
hold on a
you get
sec.
text from Amina, everything's okay, we're coming back.
Yes,
okay. So what he's saying is he left from Tulsa to go back to Dallas on the 29th. Well, Louisville, right? Then that was that Saturday. They left on the 30th to go back. Okay. All right. There we go.
What did you understand everything's okay with?
that we were told by Patricia that she had some errands to run, she had to visit her mom's grave, she had to go to visit the post office.
Did you believe that Patricia and the girls were returning to their home that they shared with Yaser, the defendant?
No.
Okay, so you're thinking they were just coming back to Louisville.
Correct.
When do you find out that Patricia and Sarah have indeed returned to the house?
That Sunday evening around 7:30.
Are they back in Louisville?
Correct, they arrived at my parents' house.
Who arrives there?
Eric, Sarah, Amina, and Patricia.
And why did they come to your parents' house?
Because they were coming to drop off my dad's truck.
And get Patricia's car from the garage?
Correct. Patricia mentioned she was gonna go see her sister as well.
So at this point, you still don't know that they're returning to the defendant's home?
Correct.
When do you find that out?
The next morning, there was a text from Amina, there was a text from Sarah to Amina saying that she should call Amina should call, her mom, Patricia.
Okay, so let's just make sure that's clear from the record. So Eric, Sarah, Amina, and Patricia return with your dad's F-150.
Correct,
They then get in Patricia's car.
yes,
You believe that they're not returning to Yaser Said.
correct. Ms. Patricia said she was gonna go see her sister, run some errands, go to the post office, and visit her mom's grave, which seemed odd because her mom had died 5 years prior, but they had no contact 10 years prior.
So you found this story to be suspicious.
Correct,
Okay. Now, you're saying that there's a text for Amina to return home. So that means that Amina stayed with you?
yes,
Okay. So Sarah, Eric, and Patricia leave in
Yes.
Patricia's car.
no, Eric just went home, and then Patricia and Sarah left together.
So Eric walked,
I don't remember,
but Patricia and Sarah left in her car together.
correct,
And Amina stayed with you at your parents' home.
yes,
Okay. Now we're into the very next day. Is that right?
correct,
Now we're into Monday. Is that right?
yes,
Which would be January 1st.
yes,
Okay. And you said you received a text from Sarah,
yes,
and the text is saying what?
to have me call home.
Okay. Did you take a photo of this text message?
I did,
Madam Mayor, Pro Tem Witness?
You may.
Mr. Louise, I'm handing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit number 9. Are you familiar with this?
yes,
And what is it?
it is a text that I received on my cell phone from Sarah,
Okay. It looks to be the same text that you saw that day and you provided.
yes, correct.
Continuing to defense counsel for inspection and state offers State's Exhibit number.
I'm not sure where this came from. Was this provided to us in discovery?
Yes.
And objection, Your Honor, I don't believe it's properly authenticated because it's a photo and I don't know whose phone this is. We don't have any information to authenticate where this text came from and who sent it. And
Would you like to take this with you on board?
Yes,
You
you
can testify that the text was from Sarah, sent to his cell phone. Would you like to take it with you on board?
yes, Your Honor,
Go ahead.
in the presence of the jury?
Would you like to do it outside the presence?
Well, normally the law says so, so yes, I would like to.
Not
do that.
only, you can order the witness after certain issues. It doesn't always have to be outside the presence of the jury, Ms. News.
I understand.
Okay. Would you like this outside the presence of the
No,
jury? You would like to order in the presence of the jury?
yes, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
To save time. So, Mr. Ruiz, there's information and testimony or information that was provided from the police that Sarah didn't have a cell phone. Where did the cell phone come from?
Do you have a question?
Where did Sarah's cell phone come from? Because she didn't have a cell phone previous to you guys going to Oklahoma. So where did it come from?
Correct, they must have gotten it back whenever they went back to Yaser's house.
When was Sarah's cell phone taken away from her?
When we left on December 24th.
And who took it away?
Nobody took it away, we, took the battery off and, turned it off.
And then when she came home, you're saying this is when she sent this text message to you?
I'm saying that's when I got that text message. I don't know who gave her her phone or when did she turn it on. It's not one I asked.
Okay, so this came from Sarah's phone after y'all returned from Oklahoma.
Correct.
No objections, Your Honor.
State's Exhibit number 9 is submitted for all purposes.
Thank you, Your Honor. Commissioner Publisher.
You may-
I'm gonna use one of them. Okay. Now, we've been, Mr. Weiss, could you read that phone number on the screen?
972-693-8266.
I couldn't hear you, I'm sorry.
972-693-8366.
And what does it say?
Hey, how can I call my mom, Sarah,
And what's the date and time?
January 1st, 8:43 a.m.
So it's now Monday morning on January 1st, and that's when you received this text message.
Yes.
What do you do with that?
We started asking questions of where did Patricia and Sarah go? So Amina called her aunt, Connie, to see if she knew where Patricia and Sarah were.
So you and Amina were shocked by this,
Correct.
okay? So Amina called Aunt Connie to ask her, do you know that she's with the defendant?
Correct.
Was Amina ever planning to return home to the defendant, Yaser Said?
No, she never wanted to return.
She never wanted to return.
No.
How is it though that she does return home?
Patricia forcibly took her home.
Now explain to the jury what you mean by forcibly take her home.
We sat down, my parents sat down with her and expressed our concern for her,
Let me stop you there, Edgar. Does Patricia show up at your house?
Yes.
What time of day is it?
around 5 or 6.
The same day, January 1st?
Yes.
So it's now evening. You received a text message at 8:43 a.m. and it's now the evening time.
Yes.
Does Patricia show up alone?
Yes.
Okay. Had she been calling throughout the day?
She had been using Sarah to text and Amina to come home.
So similar to this text message, she was asking Sarah to keep telling Amina to come home.
Yes.
Okay. And Amina is responding or not responding?
No, she said multiple times that she wanted to come home.
So then Patricia shows up on your parents' doorstep.
Yes.
Okay. You let her in?
Yes.
And do you have a conversation with Patricia about Amina returning home?
Yes.
What do you tell Patricia?
That that she should be concerned about Amina's and Sarah's safety. That she should not take her daughter back home.
Okay. And did that work?
No.
So did Amina go in fact home with Patricia?
Yes. She kept saying that they needed to go, they were running out of time, that they needed to go back home.
Patricia said they were running out of time.
Yes.
So did Amina tell you that she wanted to go or she didn't want to go with
She
Patricia?
wanted to go.
Okay, what did you tell Amina?
I told her that I had made the decision for her a week ago on the 24th. This is why I had said, bring your sister and bring your mom, so in case our relationship didn't work out, your mom will take care of you. And then for Sarah's safety, she will be with you when we ran away. And now it was her decision to make whether she wanted to go or not. And she said she didn't want to go, and then Patricia just grabbed her by the hand and took her.
Did Amina say anything to you before she left?
Yes, that I have felt her.
What did you say? I'm sorry?
Yeah, I think I said that I have felt her to protect her and help her.
That you had felt her?
Mhm.
Okay. Did she say if y'all would continue to date or if you would be able to continue y'all's relationship?
She said I would never see her again. This is the last time I will ever see her. And she walked out.
Did you think she was breaking up with you or what did you think she meant by that?
She had said her father would kill her.
She said those words to you.
Yes, but when they dated, that if her father found out that we were dating, her father would kill her.
Okay, so my question is, when she tells you this is the last time you will ever see me, you will never see me again. Do you think that's because she's telling you y'all are breaking up, or
No.
why is she telling you that?
Because she knew she was gonna die.
When's the next time you see Amina again?
Probably like 30, 45 minutes later.
You said about 30 minutes later?
Yeah, about 30 minutes later.
How was that?
I had a family member in jail from that party the night before.
So the family party was a little rowdy,
Yes,
and you had a family member. Who was that family member?
and uncle.
An uncle, and he was arrested,
Yes,
and he was in jail.
correct.
So were you bonding him out of jail?
Yes, my dad had asked me to go help him bond him in the jail.
This is immediately after Patricia and Amina leave your home?
Yes,
Okay. So what's your dad's name?
Victor, Ruiz.
And he asked you to go with him to bond your uncle out of jail.
Yes.
Okay. And do you in fact leave?
Yes, we did.
And you said, just to make sure we have the timeline right, that Patricia showed up to your house either 5 or 6 p.m. asking for Amina.
Yes.
And do you know when Patricia and Amina left?
The exact time?
Or approximate time?
Yeah, around 6:30 or 7.
Okay. And what time did you leave with your dad, Victor Ruiz, to bond your uncle?
Yeah, like 20 or 30 minutes later. Soon after.
So 6:50, 7 p.m.?
Yeah, no, I would say, yeah, around 7 p.m.
7 p.m. So it's now January 1st, 2008. And
Hold on. I don't think it's me. Let's see. Uh-oh. I think it might be me. Hold on. That's not how I wanted it. There we go. All right, let me see what's going on with this, with the feed, and if it's me or not. How did we, hold on.
Just to make sure we have the timeline right.
All right, here we go. Let's,
Patricia showed up to your house either 5 or 6 p.m. asking for Amina.
Yes.
And do you know when Patricia and Amina met?
The exact time?
Or approximate time?
Yeah, around 6:30 or 7.
Okay. And what time did you leave with your dad, Victor Reese, to Bon Jovi Bar?
Yeah, 20 or 30 minutes later.
I thought it was me. I think it might be
So-
them.
6:50, 7 p.m.?
Yeah, no, I would say, yeah, around 7 p.m.
7 p.m. So it's now January 1st, 2008.
Yeah, it's them. Hold on.
And their mother fled on Christmas.
All right, I guess they just ended it weird in a weird place. Okay. So give me just a second and I'll put up the next part of his testimony. So we need day 2. Oh, crap. I meant to not do that. My bad. Give me a sec. I forgot to share the screen. I don't know. It's so weird that the audio cut out just right there, but there's some key points to Mr. Ruiz's testimony that I want to talk about just just briefly. That first of all, he used the word forcibly. That Patricia came and forcibly took Amina out of the home, right? Yes, Amelia, that's WFAA is who we're watching. It's a local DFW channel. It's like channel 8. It's a local news station. It's ABC. Okay, so first of all, he used the word forcibly, which I think is an interesting word to use, right? I mean, that's an important detail. And the other thing that I'm confused on is why she is blaming him for failing her. The other thing I'm interested in is the text exchange in which Patricia says they're running out of time. Running out of time for what? There's some things about this about his testimony that's a little disconcerting. I don't know what the audio is going to be like because this is a brand new day, but we're going to try it. And this is the cross-examination. Okay, so here we go. Let me see how long he testifies for real quick. Oh, not long. Okay. Here we go.
Get started right away. Mr. Ruiz was on stand, yesterday, and, the state continued their examination.
The state has the witness? The state has found? Yes, Your
Okay.
Honor.
Is the defense ready?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Oh, Chick, stay warm, babe.
And
I'm telling you, come here to the Floridas. We're nice and warm. Oh, cripes. I forget you have to do it every time.
Probably make you sad or uncomfortable. So just letting you know in advance, I apologize, but I need some clarity and we all need some clarity about the incident that occurred, okay?
Okay.
One thing I do want to remind you before we start is that perjury in court is a third-degree felony. Do you understand that?
What is perjury?
Perjury is coming into court and lying under oath to a jury or a judge. Do you understand?
I do.
Okay, very good. So
I mean, that's what
yesterday,
he
after
was
you
sworn
were
in.
Direct examination with the state, did you meet with them and discuss anything afterwards?
No, ma'am.
So I want to go back to your testimony from yesterday. You said that you met Amina at Kroger when you would go over there and run errands.
All right, we're going to have to stop this already again. Okay. So you guys know, it might be because of me, but I say cripes because I like it, but you know, Shmita says it too. And I use cripes more frequently than I used to because Shmita says it a lot. Okay. So yesterday, when he would have been done testifying, are you Rexana? Yeah, it's something else here right now. When court ended yesterday, and he was not completely done testifying, meaning that either the state wasn't finished, which the judge seemed a little, which it's whatever, or it's time for him to have cross-examination. Bottom line, he wasn't finished testifying. So the judge would have told him that he's not allowed to discuss the case with anyone. So had he answered yes to meeting with the prosecutors in this case, in between testimony, that would have been incredibly improper, and it would have been a big, huge deal. So I don't understand. I mean, it's a lot of shade. All right, here we go.
For your mom, correct?
Correct.
Where was your father and why didn't he run errands instead of you if you were in school?
He was working.
And you were 22 at the time that you met Amina? Because you said you're 34 today. So how old were you 14 years ago? 20 years old?
About 20.
Okay. And you weren't in high school with her at Louisville High School.
Correct. I was in college.
And y'all started having sex. Is that why y'all fell in love and all that stuff happened?
Objection, Your Honor, relevance and improper judgment.
It's relevant, Your Honor, because he explained how in love he was with Amina and how he was going to marry her and how he was going to leave his family for her. And so it is very relevant. I need to understand the relationship that they had.
Thank you, question.
When you and Amina started dating, did it become serious?
Yes.
And you wanted to marry her?
Correct.
And when you have a serious relationship with her, did it become sexual?
Objection, Your Honor, relevance and improper judgment.
Overruled.
Well, you can't produce evil out of evil, so you can only produce love
It's
out
a
of
yes
love.
or no question, sir. Did you have sexual relations with Amina in your relationship?
I'll object to answer that question.
Sir, you did not make any objections here. You answered the question. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, the attorney made the objection. You answer what you're asked, all right?
Apologize, ma'am.
Plead the fifth.
So to be clear, it's a yes or no question. Did you and Amina have sexual relations during your relationship?
Yes.
And did she?
Okay, here's where the problem is. And this is why she asked the question in the way she asked it. The age of consent in Texas is 17 years old. Okay. And Texas does have a Romeo and Juliet statute. Okay. Technically, she would have been old enough to consent, right? But parents can, if they choose to, still try to press statutory charges against the other person. And how the Romeo and Juliet law works in Texas is that they would have had to attend school at the same time. Like if they had met in school, like if he was a senior, right, and he had graduated, that would have been that it would have been okay. So this is, in my opinion, the reason that she's asking this question is to be intimidating, quite frankly,
Explain to you
because she's under 18, and I think he's worried that he's going to get in trouble.
why she moved from Bedford to Louisville with her family.
Yes.
What was the explanation that you understood, as you understand it? What was the reason?
Her father had found out about a previous boyfriend named Joseph, and he wanted to move him away from that previous boyfriend.
And do you know who Joseph is?
I did not.
Did Amina tell you she still had communications with Joseph?
She did not.
Did you know that she had communications with Joseph?
I did not.
Did you find out when Amina left you that she had contact with Joseph?
I did not.
So let's get into your discussion that you said yesterday. You said that you and your dad went to the police station, is that right?
Correct.
And that was the night of the incident that you heard about.
Yes.
If Eric told us on the stand yesterday that,
Objection to your testimony and improper impeachment.
Sustained.
okay, let's go into your statement. So you remember going to the police station with your dad that night, right?
Correct.
That evening was January 1st of 2008, is that right?
Yes.
Do you recall when you went to that police station, giving a statement to Detective Shingle?
I do.
Do you recall making that statement inside the police station?
I do.
Do you recall saying this, okay, what I'm about to read you? I was advised that
Objection, Your Honor, reading a document that's not admitted into evidence.
I'm insisting. Do you recall telling John Shingle that you left Tuesday and stopped in Oklahoma and stayed the night? Remember that?
Without looking at the report, I do not remember.
But you stayed the night when y'all left.
In Oklahoma? Yes, we did.
You also recall saying that you guys went to Kansas and stopped at Patricia's aunt's house,
Yes.
and that the plan was that y'all were going to stay in the mobile home, but the girls did not like it, so everybody left.
Correct.
You advised that you arrived in Kansas around noon and y'all left around 5:00 p.m. going to Tulsa. Is that right?
Yes.
Around 8:00 p.m. Wednesday night, you said y'all stayed in a hotel
Yes.
in Tulsa,
Correct.
and then y'all went shopping and bought food and furniture and were going to look for an apartment.
Correct.
Y'all started looking for that apartment Friday morning in
Yes.
Tulsa. So you said that you signed, and you provided the lease, that you signed your name on it. Is that right?
Correct.
You didn't use an alias name or anything like that.
No, ma'am.
And you understand that when you sign your name on a lease, that means you're stuck to pay for that lease for the year you said you signed it for.
Correct.
So then you advised that your parents came to get you Friday night.
Saturday.
Is that right?
Saturday.
Saturday. Okay. So Friday night, if you told Detective Shingle Friday, back in 2008, when your memory was the best, that would be wrong.
Correct.
So Edgar advised they signed it. They did not arrive until late, so everyone went out to dinner together, right?
I don't recall that.
You don't recall saying that?
I don't.
So if it's in the statement, the verbal statement that you gave, that would be incorrect.
Objection, Your Honor, improper impeachment. The witness does not have a sworn statement, and therefore she's reading from a document that's not admitted into evidence.
Your Honor, I'm using the DA's private book to establish this.
Would you like the witness to express his member with that statement?
I would be happy to, that's what I'm asking him about. I'm going through the inconsistencies that he gave. That's all I'm trying to do.
Your Honor, he does not have a sworn statement.
Yeah.
Or to impeach him with.
That we know of, because we haven't received one from the state. So, under Rules of Evidence 615, prior inconsistent statements, I can go into this stuff too, and I can ask them to produce all the statements that they have in their custody. So I can examine those and go through this impeachment.
All right, go ahead.
Proceed with the question?
Proceed with the question.
Thank you, Your Honor. All right, Mr. Ruiz, so, says that everybody went out to dinner, and so you're saying that didn't happen.
I'm saying I don't recall it.
Okay, thank you. You also stayed the night, and then you and your parents left out Saturday together to come back to Louisville.
Correct.
You said that Sunday morning you got a call from Amina saying that they were all on their way back from Louisville. Is that right?
Can you repeat the question?
you ended up receiving a call from Amina saying that they were all coming back to Louisville from Oklahoma.
Correct.
They all get back to your family's house around 7:00 p.m.
Correct.
Amina and Eric stay there while Patricia and Sarah left to go back to Patricia's house in Alvarado. Is that right?
Correct.
You advised that on Monday you get a call from Eric and that he received a text message from Sarah saying that she and her mother are back at their house in Louisville and they want you to go and get the stuff from Tulsa. Is that right?
Yes.
You advised that you and Eric drove by the residence and saw Patricia's car in the driveway, which matches what you said yesterday.
Yes.
You also said that you drove back home and told Amina that her mother's car was parked in their driveway, and you said that Patricia came by your home on Monday and told Amina that her father knew about everything and
So I just gave that whole speech and forgot to unmute. So, Heather, if you have a smart TV, you can open the YouTube app on your smart TV and sign in, do the ward, whatever, and turn your closed captions on, and that will help. Also, you can, if you don't have that and you have like Chromecast, you can cast YouTube from your phone to your TV, and that would also help. The sound is terrible. I don't know why it is the way that it is. I can tell you that it's some days are better than others. And I will say that WFAA's sound is far better than Core TV's, which is why we're watching WFA, not Court TV. And also sometimes they won't, the closed captions won't pick them up.
when she leaves the house, you said around 6 p.m. on Tuesday. You know that your father spoke to the district attorney a few weeks ago, right?
That's what they said.
Okay. And we'll get into that discussion. I'm gonna ask about that in a second. But the night that you went and spoke to the police on January 1st, 2008, you said that you and Eric were sitting at an intersection in Louisville around 7:00 p.m., but that you were not sure of the exact time. Is that true?
That's not true.
That's not true.
Correct.
So when Detective Shingle says that that's what you told him, that would be incorrect.
Objection, Your Honor, comparative testimony and improper impeachment.
So let's go more. It says here that Edgar said they went on to Old 121 after seeing Amina and Sarah in the taxi with their father. So they decided to follow them. Is that correct?
Can you repeat the question?
Edgar said they saw Amina and Sarah in the taxi with their father. So they decided to follow them.
Correct.
So you and Eric are the ones that followed Amina and Sarah that evening.
No, me and my dad.
So I'm going to read it to you again.
Objection, Your Honor, I'd like to have a running objection to counsel reading from an officer's report to try to impeach a witness. This witness does not have a sworn report and it's improper impeachment.
Your Honor, can I respond? We don't have any written statements because the state agency is going to provide those to us. Whether they got them or not, we have no idea. You know the issues that we presented previously. So this is all I have to impeach this individual, and statements made to different people, including law enforcement, is proper impeachment.
Okay, except for the fact that, ma'am, calm down. Okay. If his statement should have been recorded. Okay. Let's just get that out of the way. But since it wasn't, How many times since I've been covering the West Memphis 3 case have I shown you statements that are handwritten, not statements. How many times have I shown you guys handwritten reports from the case files written by the officers investigating the case? Many, many times, right? And there can be two officers, right, interviewing the same witness and come up with different reports. It's very possible, and I know that they're harping on this because they have to. But what I suspect is the most logical, reasonable explanation for this is that when the officer was reviewing his notes, he mixed up the name Eric, and I think Mr. Ruiz said that his father's name was Victor, and it's very possible that it was just transposed and it wasn't intentional, and and this, that, and the other thing. It would be very clear, however, if they had recorded their statements, which they should have. Okay, let's continue.
Go through as long as I know
Raise
your
your
question.
questions properly. Counsel. Raise your questions properly.
Will do, Your Honor. All right. Do you recall saying that you were in the car with Eric and y'all decided to follow Sarah and everybody else in the taxi that night?
I was not in the car with Eric.
And your statement, your testimony today and yesterday is that you were in the car with your dad.
Correct.
Also, y'all, and so you recall saying that you took 635 exit to head back home, and that it looked like Amina's father was taking the 114 exit.
We did not go to 635 East home. We were going to 635 East towards Richardson area.
You advised that you did not know anything had happened until they received a call from a friend saying the police were at Amina and Sarah's house.
Correct.
You both stated that Islam, who's Amina and Sarah's brother, were very controlling of them and was always trying to protect their father from being hurt. Is that right?
Say that one more time.
You're saying that Islam was a controlling brother and always following or telling and ratting out on the girls.
Correct.
Would it be, do you recall Amina saying that Sarah rats her out and doesn't have her back anymore?
I do not recall that.
Do you recall ever finding out that Amina texted Joseph 4 days before they came back to Louisville?
I was not aware of that.
How are you not aware of that if she and her sister were sharing the same cell phone?
Correct. I don't keep track of who uses the phone.
You don't keep track of who your girlfriend you're really in love with and about to marry communicates with?
I'm not. She's an adult.
All right, so let's talk about the dating situation. You said that her dad didn't want her dating you or American guys or something, right?
Correct.
Did he ever tell you that he doesn't want you dating his daughter?
He did not.
You and Eric used to go post stuff in front of their house, right, and like watch and see what was going on?
We did not.
You never done that?
We did not.
Why would Yaser say that you guys poisoned their dogs?
That's a question you need to ask
Not
him.
Yaser, Yassine, his brother.
Yeah, that's a question you need to ask him.
So you're denying ever causing any problems at the home or anything like that?
Correct. I have no problems with them.
You didn't have a problem with him not wanting her to date you? You were okay with that?
Correct. That's his choice.
Let's talk about this tennis class. You said that Amina had signed up for a tennis class
Correct.
and that she decided that she wanted to spend time with you.
Correct.
So instead of her being in high school, she's hanging out with a college kid. Where would y'all hang out?
Go to Brahms, eat ice cream.
Do you thought that was appropriate to take a high schooler out of school to spend time with them and give her ice cream?
There's nothing wrong with eating ice cream.
Okay. During school, did you go over there and have sexual relations with her in the school at any point?
Oh, sweet Jesus.
It goes to the relationship that they had and possible motive.
Motive for what? Okay, so let's follow the defense's line of thinking here. Okay, he's a potential suspect. He should be a potential suspect, right? And why should he be a potential suspect? I'm assuming their motive for Mr. Ruiz would be that Amina was talking to Joseph Moreno this entire time, right? Or back in contact with him behind his back, as it were, and that that would be his motive. So, what would be his motive for for unaliving Sarah. Also, give me just 1 second, because I know that we went over this earlier today, like we talked about it, obviously, because we just watched the medical examiner's testimony, but I want to look at something really quick because I want to see something. Hold on, while we wait for them.
Okay. So let's talk about, oh, I'm sorry. May I proceed? You may. Thank you, Dawn. So let's talk about Joseph Moreno. You know, after all this happened, there's a lot of publicity that was around this. And you spoke to a lot of documentaries and things like that. Is that right?
I did not.
You did not speak to any documentaries or the Dallas Observer or anything like that, any reporters?
You said the word a lot. I did speak to a couple, but I did not speak to
How
a
many
lot.
did you speak to?
A couple,
Which
probably
is
two.
Two? Okay. One of them was the Dallas Morning, or Dallas Observer.
Correct.
When was that after this offense?
I don't recall the date or time.
Was it within like a month or two of the incident, or 6 months, a year?
Yeah, probably within a month of the incident.
Okay, let's talk about, do you recall talking to the DA investigator? Let me see. John Davidson on July 6th of this year?
Yes,
And you talked to the DA investigator over the phone? Or in person?
in person.
You mentioned that you have like notes about this offense and what you remember about all the days, and you wrote it out because you met with a Dallas Observer reporter and they gave you some advice and told you to write down what you recalled. Is that correct?
The reporter mentioned that one day they will call me to testify. That should probably have a timeline of what happened.
And so you created that timeline,
Correct.
and when you created it, did you ever give it to Irving Police?
I did not.
But do you recall also calling Irving Police about 8 months after the offense?
I do not recall it.
So. When you created that timeline, is it the timeline that you gave the police that night that you went to the police station?
No.
It's not?
No.
And did you bring, why, I just don't understand, there's some notes that are brought up where you had contacted and asked if there was any new evidence or information on this case. You called Brady PD and asked that.
I don't recall.
So the timeline that you created is the timeline that you testified to yesterday with the prosecutors.
Correct.
Okay. Now let's go through. If Joseph Moreno went on to some places and told people that he and Amina were the ones that were going to get married, would that be incorrect?
Objection, Your Honor, comparative testimony and proper impeachment. And hearsay.
So you never had any idea that Joseph Moreno and Amina had relationships still,
Correct.
that they did have an ongoing relationship?
I was kind of aware of it.
What's your opinion of Patricia, since you spent so much time with her?
She was the mother of Amin and Sarah.
Was she nice?
Yes.
Did she seem like she was supportive and making good decisions for her family?
Yes.
You said that there was some money that they had. It was like $5,000, right?
$4,000 to $5,000, yes.
And that money came from Yaser, is that right?
Correct.
So Yaser did work. Is that, he was a taxi driver?
That is true.
So he had a job and he provided for his family.
Yes.
He had a home for them.
Correct.
Amina had a car at one point.
At one point, yes.
At one point, she had a cell phone.
Correct.
At one point, she had all the beautiful clothes that a teenage girl would love to have. Is that right?
Yes.
And so she was this nice, sweet young lady that you wanted to marry.
Correct.
And y'all leased the apartment. You said, but why didn't, I don't understand why that you didn't take Amina to your party with your parents.
Okay. So what I was looking at is who was shot, because I know one of the girls was shot more times than the other. So that's what I was looking at. Now I understand why they're going at Edgar more than they were going after Eric, and the reason why is because of Joseph Moreno, right? And then on top of that, Amina was shot 9 times, and Sarah was shot twice. So if this is a personal crime, whether you believe it, whether the jury decides that it was Yaser who shot them, or they believe it was somebody else, for example, Edgar, right? If they were to believe that, it would seem that the person who did this was angrier with Amina than they were with Sarah, which I think that's why they're doing it this way. But to be fair to the point is that the majority of the conflict and the majority of the physical abuse allegations, as far as beatings go, are between Amina and Yaser. Amina is the one that Yaser was allegedly physically abusive towards regularly, and she was the one that was the most stubborn, and headstrong, and she was also the oldest, and therefore, if this allegation of an arranged marriage back in Egypt is true, she would have been the first one to be married. So the beef would definitely have started between the oldest daughter. That makes more sense. But I see what they're doing here. I'm not a fan, but I see what they're doing. They're also trying to cast aspersions on his character by asking him, did you think it's proper to eat ice cream with take a high schooler out of school to eat ice cream? Well, you might want to ask your client if he thinks it's proper at 28 years old to marry a 15-year-old. We're talking about a 17 and a 20-year-old. That's 3 years, not 15. But please continue.
That night on New Year's Eve, you said your family had a big party.
Hey, Bloom Chick Bloom, good to see you.
She was there at the New Year's Eve party. She didn't come to the party on the 30th, on the 29th on Saturday, December 29th of 2008.
Yeah.
She was not allowed to come. Patricia was not okay with it. She did come to the party on the 31st, which
How
would have
was
been
Patricia okay with it?
because she was back in Dallas. They were back on Sunday the 30th.
I don't understand. So Amina was in Dallas.
She was back in Dallas Sunday, December 30th,
Uh-huh.
and spent the night Sunday, December 30th, and Monday 31st.
So then why didn't she just stay with you for the New Year's Eve party?
She stayed with me on that 31st.
No, why didn't she go with you and party at the party with your family?
She went with me.
Okay. And then afterwards, where did she go?
We went back home.
And that's when Patricia came.
She came the 1st, January 1st, on Tuesday.
When Amina and you were talking about her going back, did she discuss anything? What was your understanding of why she was going back home?
Patricia said that everything was okay at home, that she was coming back to visit her sister Connie, run some errands, go to the post office.
The weird stuff that you thought was kind of odd, right? Visiting the mom's grave and stuff.
Yes, she had mentioned she will visit her mom's grave, that they had no contact in the last 10 years, but she was going to go see her.
So, when did Sarah?
Thank you, Heather. Whatever. Hi, Yashmina.
No, ma'am.
Okay, wait a minute. Wait. How many moms does Patricia have? Because how was she going to go visit her mom's grave? Right? But her mom, was that not her mom? Was that Jill maybe? I'm so confused I thought it was the mom in the, because your son, my client, is always innocent, not guilty, totally all the days. Wait a minute. I'm very confused here. Now I'm going to have to hit the Googles again. Oh, here we go. Because I thought the woman I know Connie, I know who her sister is, right? But I thought the other woman was her mother in the documentary. Ay, Dios mío. Okay, I'm going to figure
On
look.
January 1st.
And it says that, you know, that text message, you remember that text message they put up yesterday?
Correct.
They said it was from Sarah.
Yes.
Y'all never communicated until that text that night?
We communicated in person. She was with us throughout the whole week.
So when y'all talked, did Sarah ever mention to you about Joseph?
No, ma'am.
Did Sarah never mention that they were gonna go back to Alina to be back with Joseph?
No, ma'am.
And you had said that Patricia said, come on, we're running out of time.
Correct.
When she came to your home to get Amina. And what did, you spent a lot of time with them those days. What did that mean?
Okay, my bad, it was
Y'all
Jill.
Found an apartment that was furnished. So what time was
Yeah.
running out?
I still don't know the answer to that. You might want to ask her that.
What about, you didn't ask that question when you were present in front of her?
I did not know.
And you said it was the last time you would see her, and when she was leaving, she told you that you failed her.
Correct.
And how did that make you feel?
I was disappointed.
How did that make you feel after telling your parents, I want to go against what y'all think? Thank you for the truck.
He already
I'm gonna
answered
drive
you.
This whole family to Kansas, and then drive the whole family to Tulsa, furnish the apartment, put your name on that lease, and then they were like, no, we don't want to do that anymore. We don't care.
Yeah, I didn't thought that if you can help somebody, if it's in your means, you help somebody. All I do is just help.
How did that make you feel when you did all that, and then that's what happened?
I felt great that I did my best at the time that I could help someone.
So the love of your life saying, you failed me, I'm never going to see you again. You didn't pick up the phone to call 911, right?
Correct.
You didn't call 911.
I did not.
When y'all, the story you gave yesterday was you and your dad went to Richardson Police Department to go bail out a family member.
We went to the Richardson area to bail out a family member.
Okay. At the jail,
In jail, correct.
where the police are,
Correct.
and you didn't tell any police officer there, hey, you know, this weird stuff just happened. I have this weird gut in my feeling, like you explained yesterday. You didn't tell anybody at that police station?
I did not know.
You don't even remember the color of the cab, right?
I did not.
Okay. So this is Edgar Ruiz. He is Amina's Saeed's boyfriend, and that's who's testifying right now. We're on cross, and it's getting heated.
And then Patricia called you. Patricia called you to give you the unfortunate news.
Welcome
And
back also.
you, at that time, initially, police say went with Eric, but now you're saying went with your dad to the police station immediately to talk to them.
Patricia did call me. I'm not sure what the police said. Patricia called me. I'm not sure what the police said.
Okay, but what I'm asking you is, Patricia called you, told you about the unfortunate situation. You got upset and you went to the police station, right?
Correct.
And it's incorrect if the police think you went there with Eric. You actually went there with your dad.
I went to the police station and I was there with Eric. To the police station?
Okay?
Yep.
But your dad was with you in the car.
Correct.
Okay.
But Eric was not in the car.
Okay.
I saw Eric
20.
at the police station.
Eric was at the police.
Eric
station.
was already at the police
Correct.
station, ma'am. Follow along. Come on.
When Amina was taken from your parents' house by
He
Patricia,
is.
taken by the hand.
He
15
is, Summer.
was Taken by the hand, and pulled out of that home by her mom.
That's who this
It
is,
is.
babe.
And that's kind of like kidnapping, right?
I'm not sure.
So taking somebody, removing somebody from a location.
Your Honor, objection, this witness is not skilled enough to answer that.
He's not a lawyer or law enforcement. He has no idea what the laws are. Don't
She didn't
be
look like
asking
Amina
him that.
wanted to go with Patricia,
She did not want to go with Patricia.
and you didn't call the cops at that time, right?
There's no harm in forcing someone to pulling someone out the door.
There's no harm in.
Hey,
pushing
Sky
somebody out the
Flash.
door
Hold
to
on
come
just a
with
second.
what
I want to
you got.
answer you. They're not, Dr. B and I haven't done a roast in a long, long time. The last roast we did is on this channel, and it was the Chris Watts one. We haven't done one in a while. Dr. B has been really busy with work, and whenever she wants to do one, we'll do one. But they're not for Patreon only. We wouldn't do that. That's mean.
Yeah, I can't make that judgment.
Okay. And if your dad said, did your parents ever say?
I miss doing the
like,
roast.
"Anytime You should go home. It's the right thing to do.
with Dr. B.
They did not.
Hold on. I miss doing the roast with Dr. B, but also Christine and I have been doing like we've been doing some like roasts on well let's see, we did Brittany Gosney. We did Sarah Boone, and we did Diane Downs, and we're going to do Diane Downs tonight too. Yes, me too. Me too, Summer. Now this is why I'm so confused. I'm glad you like them. Yeah, I'm still doing them, just not with, I mean, whenever I'll do one with Dr. B whenever she wants. She knows that. But I don't like to pressure her because she's busy at work and I don't want to make her feel bad. You know what I mean? So I just, whenever she says, hey, let's do a roast, we'll do a roast. But Christine G and I have been doing them on this channel. And we're going to do one tonight too. So you should stick around like about an hour and a half. The Melanie Gibb one. Yeah, I took, they set that trial too for January. We'll be covering it.
Where's your dad now?
In Mexico.
And why is he in Mexico?
Because that's where he's,
Because she wanted to move there and live there.
But he lived here in 2008 and was in the car with you?
Correct.
And is he unable to come back into America?
Objection, relevant, Your Honor.
Trying to,
Overruled.
Can you repeat the question?
can he come back to America?
Not that I'm aware of.
Why is that?
He's resident citizenship status.
Was he deported?
No,
He wasn't removed from his
he
country?
was not removed.
So he was here illegally in 2008. And then now he's
Objection,
back in
relevant, relevant.
Mexico.
Overruled.
I'm sorry?
So he was here in 2008, but he's illegal when he's here in 2008. And then now he's back in Mexico.
Correct.
And we only found out about him when you spoke to the DA investigator, Eugene Reyes, or actually, no, who your father spoke to. Let's see. You spoke to Davidson. Investigator Davidson, right? And that's when we find out that your dad is in a car with you, but we can't really find him because he's in Mexico now.
He's in Mexico. I don't know if you can find him, but he's in Mexico.
But when you spoke to the DA investigator, that's the first time you ever mentioned your dad being in the car with you.
I don't recall if I mentioned him before.
How did you know what Yaser looked like?
I had seen him a couple times.
Where?
At Cobra.
Did he assaulted? Did he cuss you out? Did he do
He
anything?
did not. And I saw him a couple times at Quick Trip, get gas.
Was he mean to you?
We never encountered.
Did he threaten you?
He did not.
Does he even know who you are?
I'm not sure.
how can
Did you
he,
ever meet him, like, and introduce yourself?
I did not.
Why didn't you do that?
because she said
Well,
not
my parents
to.
taught me don't bother strangers, so I did not.
He's not a stranger. He's about to be your father-in-law. You don't think that you want to go and explain why you love his daughter and why you want to take her hand in marriage?
Yeah, I did not think about that at the time.
So nobody ever like went to go talk to him about any of these issues you were told about by Amina
Correct.
and Sarah. But you said Sarah didn't talk to you much.
No, just say hi. She would say hi.
You know, you mentioned a situation where Amina said her dad pulled a gun on her for having a boyfriend.
Correct.
Were you present for that?
I was not present.
Did Amina like want to call the cops on her dad for doing that?
She didn't mention that to me. I'm not sure.
And you didn't think that that was important to call the police and authorities about?
I was aware there was a CPS order problem, a restraining order problem. Yaser.
You were aware of, how are you aware of that?
I mean, they told me.
Okay. And so I just want to make sure, what day did y'all leave to come?
Hold on a
what day
minute.
Did you leave Tulsa to come back?
Listen, lady, now you're making me mad. Now I'm all for defending your client and defending your client well, but you need to back the milk truck up a little bit here, okay? Why would Mr. Ruiz be responsible for calling 911 or reporting a gun being pulled on Amina to police if he were not the boyfriend at the time? And he did go to the cops after this situation occurred, and you're raking him over the coals for that too. All right, I will. Sky flashed. I will. We'll probably do. I'll do something. I'll do a Valo related roast before before the trial. How about that? All right, here we go. Like, lady.
24th or the 25th.
Hi,
It's
Anaphylaxis.
supposed
When
to
did you
look at
get here?
Saturday the 29th.
Good for you, Mr.
Wednesday,
Ruiz.
Sarah,
She's
she's
tried to
already
get this
told that.
twisted all the way around, and you've
Sunday,
been
30th.
good at keeping to your story. Good job.
Are
'Cause
you aware that Amina called Joseph the day that you left Tulsa?
I was not aware of him.
how would he know this? He
Why
was
did
not
you call your
there.
girlfriend from block numbers?
That's what she always requested.
And so how would she know to answer, to talk to you?
That's a question you need to ask her.
Well, you can't.
How are you, and you're saying your testimony is you and your dad in the car, how did you and your dad visually see that they took the exit for 114? If you were present and you saw all of this happen at your home, right? Her being pulled by the hand by her mom forcefully not wanting to go home. Why did y'all stop?
I'll be
following?
right back, you guys. Behave. I'll be in the
Because
chat.
We did not follow intentionally Yaser. It was just by coincidence. And we did not follow him until 114. We diverted on in Great Bend area, 635 East.
But y'all decided to quit following them, to go to Richardson, to go bail out some.
No.
In a safe place.
Not
right?
yet. He hasn't.
You can go get them later, 2 hours later if you need to.
Jail is not a safe place from where I'm aware of.
Say that again?
Jail is not a safe place from where I'm aware of.
But you thought it was safe to unfollow your girlfriend when she was in a vehicle with somebody that you believe is so dangerous.
I promise I
You
will.
just
Sky
saw her
flashed.
pulled out of your home by her hand, forcefully, and you and your dad were like, she looks safe, so we're gonna go.
Correct. We're not there to enforce any law. We're not law enforcement. And she's on the care of her father. And she was on the care of her mother when she left the
You
house.
didn't care about that when you moved them all to Oklahoma.
Correct. I was there to help.
So why were you there to help if this was the truth and you thought they were not safe
Objection
for
on the
them?
minute, Your Honor.
Overruled.
What's the question?
Why did you think it was okay and give respect to them being with their father at that moment? When she looked you in the face and said, you failed me, you just testified she didn't want to go, and then she went forcefully.
Yes, my dad had asked me to go bail out a family member out of jail, and he reminded me that he had done everything I could in that week to help them, and it was time to get on to our own personal business.
How many times did you speak to the police after this incident?
In the last years or when?
Total.
I don't recall how many times. I know I spoke to them the night of.
That's it. One time.
That time and 2 months ago whenever I was subpoenaed to come here.
How many times did you speak to the FBI?
I don't recall speaking to the FBI.
Never met with any FBI agents about any of this case.
I don't recall ever meeting with them.
And how many times did you speak to the media about this case?
Again, it was probably 2 or 3 times.
When you went to the police station, excuse me. When you went to the police station on January 1st, 2008, did Irving Police Station, not the Richardson Police Station, Irving Police Station, did they do any gun residue testing on your hands?
No, ma'am.
Did they ask you to write your statement out in writing?
They did.
Did you?
I did.
Wrote a written statement,
Correct.
and it said what the officer put in his report. That's the statement you gave that night. You wrote something down for the officer.
I gave a statement to every police department.
Oh, today they give you a DNA test and take a sample from you?
They did not.
Did they take your thumbprints
They
to
did not.
examine? Eric had mentioned he was in ROTC, so I'm assuming he has experience with weapons, since he was in the military. Do you have any experience with weapons?
I did not.
Never seen a gun before?
I've seen a gun
Right. When was the first time you saw a gun?
probably when I was 16.
Cross witness.
State,
No questions for this witness, the state thinks this witness.
all right, may this witness be released?
Subject to recall, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Reed.
I'm sorry.
Stay in touch.
Your Honor, I do have one more
No, Your Honor,
question.
she passed the witness.
Absolutely. So, you're free to leave, but stay in touch with the state, in case either party wants to call you, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead, witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. The state called Officer Hubbard.
Officer, do you swear that the testimony will give you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you out?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank
Your Honor, may we approach? Thank you.
Okay, let me skip through this and look and see if they are going to call Mr. Moreno. What the heck? All right. Let me
Well-
s-
The things y'all did was to get the fingerprints from that guy, right?
All right, hold on.
Our office. We get the subpoena template, we put our witnesses on there, we e-file it, and then we get the subpoena back and we serve them.
Your Honor, I have no further questions. He obviously doesn't know the legal authority for which this is happening. Could we get a copy of the template that he's talking about and put it in evidence?
Yes, Mr. Reed. So before you get off the witness stand, detective or investigator,
Are there returns?
Yes, ma'am. These are actually the original returns.
So they
So
were all on base?
they're e-filed. I don't know if they get put on base or not. We don't have any. I've been here 15 years. We've never had to put anything on.
All right, so not day 2. He doesn't testify. Let me just check day 4 real quick. not day 4. All right. I just want to make sure that we didn't miss Mr. Moreno. That's the opening statements. Crap. Who's this? Jason Williams. Connie. Okay, so it looks like from my let me see who this is. There's Eric. I don't think he's testified yet, you guys. All right. So, whew. Oh, your grandbabies came to come swimming. Oh, that's so fun. I can't wait till mine are old enough to do that. They're still little. All right. So Joseph Moreno has not testified yet. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little break. I will be back at 9 a.m. Oh my gosh, Jen. Maybe I should be back at 9 a.m. Just kidding. I'm going to be back at 9 p.m. with Christine G. And we are going to talk about Diane Downs's, we're going to play you guys the audio from Diane Downs' parole hearing. It is not to be missed. If you think her interviews went poorly, her media interviews, wait till you get a load of her parole hearing interviews. She does herself no favors. So that's what we're going to do tonight at 9 Eastern. I hope to see you guys all back then. And I don't know if I'm going to have time between now and then to put together, hey, Max 2002, a slideshow, because it's 7:45 now. I don't think I'm going to have time. So maybe we'll just, I have a few pictures of her, so we'll just put her face on the screen. I wish I had more, but I'm sorry, you guys. But yeah, that's what we'll do tonight. And, well, if I don't put anything on the screen, then you can always just I don't know, listen, but be playing sometimes when I'm watching YouTube, you know what I do? I'm listening. I have YouTube on the TV, but I'm playing on my tablet. Matchington Mansion, hit me up. I need some lives. Just kidding. But I do play Matchington Mansion. So I'll see you guys all back here at 9 p.m. Eastern with Christine G. And we're going to go over the parole hearing of Diane Downs. Thank you guys for coming, and I will see y'all in a little bit. Okay, bye.